Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Roguetech, the soft spots. Today I want to talk about quirks and affinities in terms of mechs. What is that? Or well, actually it works for tanks as well, but we're talking about mechs today. What is quirks? What is affinities? Quirk is the one ability that every mech has that is active from the get-go. Here, for example, it is command. Or with the Lahu, it is easy to maintain, which just reduces the cost for repairs and the time for repairs. So they're different quirks, and they're affinities. Affinities only activate if the pilot in the machine has driven the type before a certain number of times. Remember, it's the type, not the machine itself. If you have, for example, a couple of Marauders, and he is driving the first day in the M5M and the next day in the R2, it both counts towards the total number of missions that he has achieved in this Marauder type. So 20 missions, 10 in a 5M and 10 in a 2R, and he will have the Gunslinger active. Because when you have with a pilot that has the necessary number of rounds missions in a machine, he will activate the affinities. Now you see that this, for example, here has 2. There are, however, machines that have more. This one here has actually 6, and there are machines that have up to even 12. That is mostly clan machines, but you get the point. These affinities are very, very situational, because some of them give you things that you really, really want. For example, plus 10 heat capacity is basically nearly 2 tons of heat sinks, or minus 5% heat generated with lasers. If you have a lot of large AL lasers, that is a lot of heat. It's another few tons on heat sinks that you can save yourselves, and he has a tuned engine which gives another heatsink. So if you, for example, if you're only buying avatars and you're only driving avatars with one pilot, he will have a total heat sinking of minus 10% in total and plus 10 heat capacity for the machine. That's awesome, no question. It's not awesome, it is awesome itself. With that being said, when you look at your pilots, now come on, you can do it. You can see, for example, that, let's take someone who actually drives mechs. This one here has Marauder 10 times in total. And whenever he drives another machine, he's gaining points for that. You will lose points if he drives the machine not for a certain amount of times, unless you have training pods. If you have training pods installed to the engineering of your Argo, that can counter this decay of the abilities to a certain point. With that being said,
nice to see you down
some
here
of these affinities only give you bonuses that you do not really need. For example, if you're not going for missiles, which would be strange if you're driving an archer, but just for example, this missile boat affinity doesn't do anything for you. Or if you have a machine that is built for close combat and you're not doing close combat, that's not doing anything for you. Furthermore, some of the affinities only give you, or most of them, only give you a plus or a minus or a percentage chance. It does not give you any special ability, so to speak. With one exception. Well, there are actually 3 exceptions, but 2 of them are in the same and 1 is different. And that is the scrapper. This gives you ace pilot and multi-tracker. Which means you can first shoot and then move, which means you don't get a negative on your hit chance for your movement, because the movement occurs after the shooting itself. That's very, very good. And you can shoot at a target you can see and then move into cover. That's absolutely amazing. The other one is the breaching shot. Those of you who've played the original Battletech game, because Roguetech, of course, is only a mod, or was that only? It's a mod. It's a very good mod. It's better than the original game. The point is, the affinities, Ace Pilot and Multi-Tracker, were actually pilot abilities learned by the pilot. There is another way to get Ace Pilot, and that is if you have neural implants and a special cockpit that works together with neural implants, but that is reserved mainly for clanners and for the Word of Blake. And getting your hands on the pilot that has neural implant, and that, oh, by the way, only works if you have, you can still pilot the mechs sometimes. There are pilots or mechs that can only be piloted if you have a neural implant. If you don't have one, you cannot even pilot that thing unless you exchange the cockpit. But if you have got, for example, a Word Blake mech with that special cockpit, it works like a normal cockpit, and only if you have this implant, he can do the ace pilot thing, the move, the shoot and then move thing. And there are very, 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 very few pilots who have the neural implants. So that is not something you, in my eyes, that you can actually work for. With all that said, in my mind, in my book, Scrapper is the most important affinity available. Because this means you can shoot and then move and you can multi-track. And it's very hard to achieve this without going through a lot of pain when finding special stuff that your machine can do that. And this is the easiest way to achieve these two abilities, in this case, affinities. With that being said, do you agree with my statement that that is the most important affinities, because all the others just give you some plus and minuses, and this gives you the ability to do something that others simply cannot do? Furthermore, in the quirks, there are also some more and some less important. The improved cooling jacket, as here with the Usil, doesn't do a lot if you're not into missiles. With that being said, there are certain machines that have this Scrapper quirk. For example, it is the Kit Fox, it is Vulcan, it is the Phoenix Hawk, it is the Medusa, it is the Usil, it is the Wraith, it is the Azu? Something like that. The Summoner, the Loki, Gargoyle, Juggernaut, Turrican, Mad Cat 2, the Septirka, that's a clan mech as well, and the Battlemaster, the Cataphracт, Black Knight. I'm missing a couple, but that are the most, the Crockett. And there are some others, but that are the main ones. With that being said, do you think it is worth going after these machines or not, just because they have this affinity or not? Just tell me what you think about affinities and quirks, what you think is the most important. Do you select your mechs by those, or does that not play any role in your thinking? Yeah, just let us discuss.